Alright, we're finally into sheet metal parts. I'm going to make something substantially similar to this. I'll go ahead and do it in millimeters. The sheet metal tab, you go to the base flange, and I'm going to choose this plane here. We're going to make these like 25, 75, and 25, and I'm going to select the midpoint of this sucker. Damn it, I had it selected. Okay, and go ahead and put a concentric relationship there, and exit sketch, and I'm going to set this to midplane, make it like 100. Okay, now when it comes to things like this, K factor, that has to do with the bending. And you can use a bend table if you want, which there are bend tables available, some sample tables based on the machiner's handbook, for different metals in the Solidworks directory. Let me show you where that is, because I'll probably forget. It's a little hard to find, as you might expect. Let's see, it's in here, in bend tables. Okay, so you can go bend allowance tables, as being an option, and that's under English, language, SolidWorks, in our SolidWorks program files area. And then you can choose these different bend allowance tables. So, but anyway, you're probably better off leaving it as K factor, and because you can go up here, you can either choose the thickness of your sheet metal and set your own bends, or you can use standard gauges, for example, like for aluminum and so forth. Because I think this stuff accesses the same group of tables, honestly. But you got sample table for aluminum and so forth, but you use a K factor millimeters table. So let's use a table for aluminum, for example, which you can browse for and choose like 18 gauge, and notice what happened. And but you can override the thickness and reverse the thickness direction, and set your radius to an outside radius as opposed to an inside radius, because it usually defaults to inside radius, for whatever radius is on there. But you can set various radius values, like 3 millimeters, like I just did there. Now these auto relief thing, you can't really choose not to select it, but you can select the type. He hadn't covered these yet, but they have to do with allowances for the sheet metal for cutting it, because metal deforms and compresses and so forth, when you bend it. So and this is used apparently to calculate exact length of required materials. I guess down to the mill or something. At any rate, that pretty much covers, most of the properties of this. Okay, next, we can go to the edge flange and, select an edge and put an approximate length there. And, you notice, and it won't preview this, unfortunately, but, you can have it trim side bends, you can have it apply an offset, distance, if you want. So, and I don't know if you can have a negative offset or not. No, apparently not. Oh, shit. Then I'll go ahead and leave it. You got these different, well, let me, anyway, you got these different settings. You can see how it's making these things. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. And let's see what it does. That just makes a straight up cut. And go edit it. Like that, and since we chose to cut the corners out, that's what it did. And let's see. This except, it's about the flange length, whether it's the inside or outside length on us. And here, of course, is the overall. You can, certainly set the bend angles too. As you can see there. I'm going to go ahead and use that offset. You can do a custom bend allowance on this too if you want. Fucking piece of shit. And of course, if I don't, want to trim the side bends, I can do it that way, and it just straight out, tears it. But, I'm going to leave things basically this way. What I'm going to do is go in and edit the profile. Now this thing pops up telling you the sketch is valid, but let me draw a fucking line on this thing. Say like this, and we'll trim it. Go trim it. Okay, and then go back. If I hit finish, it would have actually stopped out of this whole command. But this allows you to edit it more if you want. And see, I can still adjust it based on that cut. So, oops. That's a sticky cursor there. I'm going to go ahead and choose it. Well, fucking son of a bitch. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make this 45 degrees too. So, we're cutting out of corners, and it's at a 45 degree angle with the profile I edited. So, This just shows you that you can edit the profile in the middle of the command if you want to. For example, it was nice and convenient, you know, to be able to edit the profile and then put the bend on it. Okay, but you know, there's more to that command. So let's go to the edge flange again, and I'll select this edge, put it about there, and I'll select this edge and this edge, making sure the blue box is selected, and see, it automatically does that. Now the arrows, you know, can change the direction of the flanges if you want. You know, the purple arrows can. So you got those options, and it pretty much takes care of that for you. And this, you know, pretty much controls, you know, that opening. And you can still, well, that's cool. And you can go try to edit the profile. The problem is it only brings up this one. I don't know if you can tab, you know, to other ones. It doesn't seem to allow you to do that. So, you know, you kind of got to get stuck with what you have here when it comes to that. So, you know, I'll select that, and before I continue, let me, you know, check out this flange here, and I want to go ahead and put an offset in it while we're at it, if I can. Side. I might not be able to now. Yeah, hold on. By the way, you know, if this is selected, you know, you can use your mouse scroll wheel to change the angle. But yeah, I mean, like I said, here's where I had put the offset, but you can't select it anymore. One thing I can still do though is go link to vertex, so I can, you know, click that, but it's just going to make it parallel to that, you know, as a projection. So, but when it's vertical, like 90 degrees, you know, that's how it works. And if you can see, you know, as I change the angle, it's shortening the part because it's still trying to project a perpendicular line up to that vertex. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. But I don't know why, you know, I can't choose an offset in it now. That's kind of irritating. You know, because I could do it before. But anyway, I do want to show you though that I can go edit the sketch. You know, and add like a center point arc, for example. There, and then do a trim on it. And it'll give me a, god damn it, do a trim on it, you fucking prick. God, this thing's got some real issues. Anyway, it gives you that warning box just because I, you know, had a reference point or whatever, but it's no big deal. I edit, exit sketch, you know, that's what we got for the profile. Let me go try that again real quick. Okay, in fact I will bring it out at that angle, but see, we still have an offset available now, and it's just another one of those commands that after the first time you do it, the option to put it in there disappears. So even though I can, you know, change the angle all I want, you know, it's no big deal. But you know, you go back and try to do it now, well, it ain't gonna fly, is it? You know, let's see if we still have our offset. Okay, since we did apply an offset, we have the option to offset it again. Again, if you recall, on the other one, we don't have that option anymore. You know, on this one, see, I mean, it's missing, so there's no offset value anymore. So again, another one of those bullshit flaws in the program. But in any event, if you notice, you do have this flatten pattern here, okay? But you do have this option up here, you know, which just flattens it out. But you can do the same over here by right-clicking it. You know, and suppressing the feature, because it's suppressed right now. But like I said, if you click this, you basically unsuppress it, as you can see, but then you can resuppress it by clicking again. So, you know, it's pretty cool.